And hello and welcome back. This is Jorge Prospector of the Prospect Chase Box, joined by my fellow prospector, Ron.
Welcome to the 29th of May. How the heck did we get this far into the month already?
I know years
We're
almost half over. We're past Memorial Day. This is
you know,
episode 92? 92 of
92, and we're at about 30% of the season for the teams down now. Teams are jockeying for position, surprise teams in the lead. There's all kinds of stuff going on in the baseball world, and Tops is throwing a few things at us, not as much as we normally have. But there's lots of fun things going on in the industry as well. You've got today in San Diego a Jackson Merrill signing. It looks like Sam's going to be down there. I just saw him post about that as well. His post reminded me that they were doing it today, so I've got to get down there. I already pre-purchased a couple of items.
So you have forgotten that it was today? What was
Yeah, I had no,
is this close to you or no?
it's about 45 minutes.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's enough.
And they're on.
It's at a card shop down there that I haven't been to. It's a new card shop. Took over, they're putting card shops in empty mall spaces. I haven't been to a mall in years.
Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
am where I'm trying to invite. So I'm trying to invite some people because we are doing this live, folks. We did a few experiments, and we have been sometimes doing this recorded and posting it a little later during the day for folks to catch it. But today, just the timing of it, Prospector Jorge has to get some things done later on.
Prospector Jorge is broadcasting live from the Jorge Auto Studios.
Yes, this is the PCB Garage Studio B. So let me shoot it here on Discord real quick. Boom. I'll do the same on Facebook groups, and we'll get going. We got some things to talk about. The teams by now. I always say past Memorial Day is when we can first have a contender-pretender discussion.
Yeah.
I think by now, by and large, teams are what they are. And you can, obviously there's some improvements.
There's some shaking out going on.
There's some improvements that can be made, but I think in the bell curve, I guess, if we want to call that, or the distribution curve, we can by now know probably 8 to 10 teams that are not going to be in on it. It changes every year, of course, but I think by now we should know who some of these pretenders are, like guaranteed pretenders are. So yeah.
One of the big things that surprised me is the Cleveland Guardians started off red hot this year, absolutely smoking people. All of a sudden, they're 6 games behind the Detroit Tigers right now. The Detroit Tigers have the best record in baseball, which is a complete surprise to the Prospect Chase Box team here. I never predicted the Tigers to be the number 1 team in that division at this point. There's some other teams in there, but if you look at it, you've got Cleveland, Minnesota, and KC all with 30 wins in the second position in that. And the Tigers with 37 wins. So it's something unpredictable. Another thing that's unpredictable, we've talked about how the National League West has just been a hot division. Well, kind of cooled off. Yesterday, all teams lost. So it was 0 for 5 for National League West teams yesterday. So
I'm surprised that the Dodgers are losing some games. Pleasantly surprised. But
their pitching hasn't been holding up. The Padres have been losing games because, again, their pitching hasn't been holding up either. They were up, went down. They had really weird games. The other day they were down 6-0 at the end of the first inning.
Yeah.
They came back to win that one, surprisingly. Yesterday they were up by 6 or 7 and turned around and lost the game. So you just never know these days. and the amount of errors and things we're seeing, people aren't playing baseball fundamentals the way they used to be. People are focused on exit velocity and this and that. You're seeing a lot more fielding errors than I've seen in past years by all the teams. So it's kind of a surprise to me. But on the good side of things, you've got the Mariners still in first place over there. We like that, although Houston is within a half game of them all of a sudden now. Phillies, I don't know how they're hanging on to it, but they still are. You've got your Mets just trailing behind them by 2 games. So, it's
Barely,
going.
huh?
Yeah. And then, the Cubs, I thought the Cubs were going to be strong this year. Sure enough, they're pulling up that division. Who's really surprising, is the Orioles sitting at the bottom of their division. I still can't figure that out. Yeah, I look at that and it's a stat. They only have 19 wins. It's just a horror show. Yankees are up by 7 games in that division already, 1/3 of the way through the season. So there's some ground to be made up if anybody wants to challenge. Closest team is the Tampa Bay Rays, who actually, they did a couple things in the offseason to strengthen themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they'll push the Yankees a little more. Who knows? They have a series coming up with them, so we shall see.
We shall see.
Yankees
I fear.
Dodgers
I
this
mean, with the
weekend as well.
Dodgers, I mean, I think this argument can be made for both the Padres
Yep.
and Dodgers.
Yep.
I mean, at some point when you're pitching, when the cream of the crop of your pitching is out, and you keep throwing out their, quality, but kind of like made up on the fly
Yeah.
pitchers or have
Guys who
bullpen
weren't
game.
starting pitchers before. Now King is out of the rotation.
Yeah.
He was a
And
big.
it's going to happen. It's going to happen. So here's my fear. I think because the Dodgers, like for a little bit, they got away with throwing a few bullpen games and which they did in the playoffs and beat the Padres. That was crazy.
Yeah.
But they've been doing it because their offense had been, keeping them afloat, and they would get okay and if not good performances for some of these like on the go kind of like let's throw him out there and see what happens. But they have come, the regret. What do you call that? The regression to the mean comes in, and these pitchers that were outperforming their capabilities, to call it that. If your batting is not catching up, then you're going to start losing some games. And so my fear is that the Mets have relied on that as well this year, and they've had, unexpected, above the mean performances from Griffin Canning, from McGill, from you name it. A few people that are good, but they're not great. And we've been able to win some games. I think we lead the league in one run wins. With like 14 or something like that.
The series over the weekend with the Mets and Dodgers was sure an exciting series to watch.
That was exciting. We barely. I'm pissed off we didn't sweep the White Sox. They kind of threw the towel there on the third game. We have to sweep those games. This is the week where we have the White Sox and the Rockies. We're supposed to go 7-0. A normal Mets team with everyone batting, you have to win all those games. But we did win the series. But my fear is that, going back to my point, is that Lindor's a little bit of a funk right now. Yeah, he's coming through a little bit. He's not terrible, but he's not great. And then Juan Soto has just been bad. Like there's no sugarcoating.
220 something.
Right and for someone like me that watches probably 80 or 90% of the games, I can see like the progression, and he just looks uncomfortable. The Juan Soto that has always been very comfortable in the box, he looks sometimes lost in the box. Like his timing is way off on some things. He's not. Yeah, he's seeing the ball well. Like all the metrics, if you look at Baseball Savant, I've looked at some of that stuff. Like all the numbers are still red, and he's still. But I think I saw someone go even deeper. And saw that last year, and saw that this year compared to last year, his I don't want to say the term is, but it's something that measures, because I don't know it, but it's something that measures how quickly your bat goes through the zone. a fancy way of saying how fast is your swing, right,
Yeah.
through the zone, and it's down a bit. So I don't know if some people were speculating that last year, because of that huge disparity between right field and left field at Yankee Stadium, where left field is a little more true to the mean, maybe a little tough, and that if you yank the ball to the right field, then you've got 40 homers easily.
Yeah.
And so some people were saying that last year he was speeding up uh, and swinging at pitches that he wants faster or identifying them quicker and just trying to be more on the pull side. Whereas this year, that's not the case, and he's also been terribly unlucky with the BABIP stat, where it's like you're expected,
Yeah.
average when balls are put in play. It's way lower than what it should be. So there has been some unlucky aspect to it, but just seeing his swing day in and day out, he looks very off. The timing is way off. Something is. I mean, hopefully he turns it around. Obviously, he turns
Yep.
it around, and this is to be expected. That this has happened with superstars going to New York. It happens all the time. It happened with Pedro. It happened with Beltran. It happened with Lindor. That first year is always a little bit intimidating. A little bit of, I don't know, juju or something, and turn it around. The superstars turn it around. Obviously, the not so superstars, the Jeremy Burnitts or the Jason Bay, and those types that are not superstars, that they can't find a way. But hopefully he finds it. I'm surprised where we are on the record wise, just based on his performance.
Yeah.
But we'll
We'll
see.
see there. It's an exciting year. Of course, the headlines are now touting Otani with 20 home runs, leading the league in home runs, whereas Judge was so
With
far
40
ahead.
RBIs or something like that.
Yeah, Judge was so far ahead at the early in the year, but the problem is people like Ron Washington yesterday in their game intentionally walked him
Twice.
twice. They called for
Yeah.
intentional walk. Yeah, we're not going to let him hit the ball. He's been
Especially
everything.
against the lefty.
Yeah,
A slow
yeah,
pitching lefty. The Angels have a bunch of those, like slow
yeah.
location type lefties. Yeah.
So the big series this
Kikuchi
weekend
and the
again.
Anderson and all
Yeah,
those are location based lefties. You're gonna get crushed. With a
big
righty,
series this
predominant righty
weekend though.
lineup. I think the Yankees lineup versus left-handed pitchers is like winning percentage. I think it's like 800, something
Yeah,
crazy.
geez,
They have a
that
lot
is
of
insane.
impactful right bats.
So tonight
Um,
you have, or sorry, tomorrow night you have the first of three Dodger Yankees games at Dodger Stadium. So they're going to be here. Tickets were outrageous, from what I
I bet.
understand.
I
It's
bet.
the sliding scale and then the secondary market. Both are pushing those up. You've got that World Series rematch going for 3 games. Of course, they're doing an Apple TV tomorrow night, which is going to piss everybody off. I do not enjoy the broadcasts, although I do have Apple TV and I'm able to watch them. The broadcasts just don't seem to be up to par to me. I'm not sure if they're going to be doing, an ESPN or Fox special game on Saturday or Sunday, probably, because this is the premier. This is the premier matchup, World Series rematch.
I have a tip for folks because I did it last Friday. I used to, so I subscribe to Apple like on demand. Like if there's a movie I like or whatever, or there's a series I want to binge, I purchase it for a month or whatever, and then I cancel it because I don't really watch much of their content. But so I've done that here and there. I haven't. I think last time I did it was like in April, so I could catch a game. But I did it last week where like I just realized that regardless of whether you've done that before with Apple or not, Apple TV or not, apparently you can try you can try the Apple TV via Prime. Like if you have a Prime account, an Amazon Prime account,
Yeah,
and you're watching, I mean, this is for folks that have it connected to their computer or on their smart TVs or whatever. You can click on the game, and it says free with a 1 week trial of Prime or Apple or something like that. sorry, with a 1 week app free for 7 days, whatever. So if you want to catch a game and you have you have Prime, you can you have a week to cancel. It's 7 days. So some partnership they have with Amazon that you can try it for a week, and it's irrespective of whether you've tried Apple TV before or not. So
Well,
there's that.
that's a big thing. So it's been an exciting week in Major League Baseball. We'll see what this weekend brings. It's a big weekend. Lots of stuff coming up. Before we know it, we're going to be seeing our all-star ballots everywhere. I don't like the way all-star ballots are run, but that's just me.
I'm
But
hoping our guy Elio Ramos gets in. And I'm trying to see whether me and my crew are gonna be down there for the All-Star game in Atlanta.
yeah,
Because Atlanta is kind of close to where some of my work is. Miami in the Caribbean. So
well,
trying to see if I can that. And honestly, I think we've talked about it on this channel. The Tourist Park is an amazing park.
yeah, that's
It's
what I've heard.
really
I
fun.
haven't been there.
It's really
I've
fun, and
been,
it's really fun for this type of
yeah,
outing where like there's stuff where there's like a whole weekend of things, and the fact that they've built that sort of that park surrounding a whole slew of like bars and things to do, and it's like its own like what do you call it, like a
like a
district,
little, yeah, like a little downtown, their own
like a
little
little
downtown.
district of sorts. If you've been to downtown LA, it's kind of like where that is, kind of like the LA Live type of thing, where
Yeah,
like but enclosed. It's like an enclosed circular thing where you've got a lot of things within that district. So it honestly lends itself great, I feel, for this type of weekend where you've got a lot of this stuff. Sometimes when they do these all-star games at these cities, like some of the events have to be very like separate from each other, and one is in here, one is in the convention center, one is like all these fan zone here, this and that there. In here, I think it lends itself great to like everything being within the district, right?
yeah,
So I think that will be a cool
yeah,
thing to experience.
the whole All-Star Weekend stuff is always a lot of fun. There's a lot of things to go to, but another park I'd like to check off my list is Truist out there.
Yeah,
Looks like a nice thing. I'll have to add that to the list here. As we look at the card world this week, Topps drop is getting ready to drop Sterling probably tomorrow. I think they say it's coming as an equal drop. It'll be an overpriced product that won't have any return if you're saying, oh, I'm going to pull as much as I spent on this. You're not. So it's one of those that is typically a hard pass, especially with rookie class. Now, if it was 2024 again and we have that rookie class all included in that, maybe it's something you look at, but that they didn't have that in there.
Hi, Anthony. Welcome. Nice to have you out here. And I am absolutely talking about Truist Park, the Battery. That's I guess what the district is called, the Battery. Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, no, I've been there for some Braves games, and it's absolutely fantastic. And so good that you agree with me. I think it's absolutely perfect for the weekend. Hopefully, everything gets scheduled right there in the Battery, and people don't have to. It actually makes sense for everything to be there because outside of the Battery, like you're pretty much in the middle of suburban Atlanta, and I don't see.
It's out in Cobb County there. It's where their fan base was at. The interesting thing is I've been to both Fulton County Stadium and Turner Field. Was not impressed with the areas around them. They from what I hear have improved the area around that now. It's finally catching up to what it should have been so many years ago, but just never made it.
This is absolutely the best venue that the Braves have had ever.
Yeah.
Both logistics, the space itself, traffic, demographics. Like it's way better. So, and Anthony is a Braves fan, agrees. So, happy to see that we have some agreement, even if our teams hate each other. Anthony, if you've never, obviously you're semi new to the channel and to our community, so welcome again, Anthony, to our Prospect Facebook community. We've talked about it here. before, but I have a really great story, which you can probably go back in other episodes. If I flag the episode, I'll let you know which one it is, where I talk about my first time visiting Truist Park, and it was a momentous occasion for me, but it was a terrible weekend for the Mets. It was during Francisco Alvarez debut weekend, and you guys swept us and kept us from the playoffs, and beat us and kept us from the playoffs by the slimmest of margins. So, anyways,
let's get hit back on the Tops products
let's get
again.
back on
So
Tops.
what we have also is they officially dropped the megas yesterday, so they can be found out there. Target has them right now. So this is the Bowman megas. Things people need to consider about the Bowman mega that they forget about is you've got 6 packs in there. 4 packs are base packs, and 2 packs are, they're now calling them Mega Chrome instead of Mojos like we always called them in the past. It's rebranding from them. I don't know. I don't know if we were ever really officially Mojo packs, but the 4 base packs in the past have been nothing but base cards. People would buy these. I only get base cards. Well, that's the way it's built. All the hits are going to be in the 2 other packs. What they've done this year, though, is they've included the red logoed rookie card in there for people in those base packs. So that's something bit of a chase in there, just a little bit of a chase. Is it really going to mean that much to people? No, because the only 2 rookie of the years. So those 2 cards are the only ones that are going to be valuable for turning in, other than the fact that it's a short print theoretically.
Yeah.
So you've got that going for it. But the rest of the thing, you're not going to cash in on those things. And that long-term rookie card thing, there was only 18 of the 30 people that had in there that would even be eligible for rookie of the year. Very limited number. So they had to win rookie of the year. Then down the road, if they win a Cy Young or an MVP, then you get the extra bonuses. But they had to have won Rookie of the Year that year already. And at the end of it, if they get into the Hall of Fame, it had to be within 10 years. So if it's a guy who is borderline and gets in much later, it's gimmicky. It's not going to help you out much. But remember, you do have the 2 silver packs in there. They have the Mojo cards in there. I've seen some people pulling some good stuff from those. We'll see how it goes. They are available. They are, $50, which is to me a little high priced. The alternate to that is the value blaster boxes. The blaster boxes for $30 out there. What are they? Are they 25 each? I forgot the exact price. Let me take
30.
a quick look here.
30.
Okay. So they're sitting out there, and again, $30. They are available on Target as well, still out there if you want to get them. You get a variety of parallels and stuff in that, and it's a fun rip. You're not having specific packs.
Okay, so Santa Ron has spoken. Is it time for PCB Jorge Prospector Brutal Honesty time? It is.
Well, that guy over there should let us know.
Do not buy this. Do not buy these mega boxes at $50 each. Here's the play. Here's the play on Bowman Megas. The only value that there is to these boxes is the Mojo packs, and the value is let's say twofold. Okay, so one, it is a pretty strong class. A lot of position players. I don't think it's a huge class, but of the most recent Bowmans that we have talked about this in prior Coffee and Rip episodes, it's probably most comparable to Bowman 22 Bowman with Ellie and Jackson Churio and James Wood, highlighting that class. It has some prospects that have high ceilings, position players. So what you want to do with those is you want to get those Bowman first in Mojo format and grade them as quickly as you can. There's probably 4, 5, 6 batters that are highly touted. It's not a bad idea to get a few of the ones that seem good quality. I have not seen anything about quality control, so I can't speak to that. But if you're able to land a few of those, grade them and either keep them or flip them real quick, right? Because that has some value. If you're able to gem up those as PSA 10s, those have value. The other value, and mind you, that value, a little nuance or a little caveat to that value, you can always eBay purchase them. And of every five you buy that seem decent, maybe two gem up, and that's a win, right? That's one way to go about it. That's one way it has value. The second way it has value, Ron touched on it for a little bit. It's those Bowman Red rookies. Now, like Ron said, it's 30 people, 30 players. Of those, already knock out like 12, I think it
Yep.
is, are ineligible, and that kind of sucks because that, in my opinion, that already eliminates half of the value of that program. Because at this moment, and I don't see anything else changing this, the clear cut winners are going to be Jacob Wilson and James Wood, and James Wood is ineligible. He cannot win Rookie of the Year this year. So you only have AL Rookie of the Year to go, and that should be Jacob Wilson. I mean, unless he injures himself like
Yeah.
next week and he's out for the season. But otherwise, like he's hitting 350. He's got like 13 dingers, I think, like 40 RBIs. Like and he had a good season. He's a touted prospect, so it's not unexpected his performance. And so that's one thing, right? He's proud, and the fact that like Ron was talking to me offline, validating that this is true, like that whole prize, it's a what do you call it? It's a
Cumulative.
cumulative
It has to
prize. So
start
like,
with the
in order for you to
Rookie of
get
the Year.
the higher sort of benefits, higher levels, he has to win Rookie of the Year. You have to hit on one, right? So I feel, and I was telling this to Ron offline. I feel like this is a good program. It has potential, but I think that they're gonna have to like pull back and reconsider and reformat it next year if they keep on doing
Yeah.
it, because uh, this whole thing being cumulative, like it makes no sense because very very few people are gonna be in on it, and especially if so many people are ineligible, then it should only be red rookies. And I know this is probably tough by logistics wise. By the time they have to go to print, ideally everyone that has a red rookie is eligible to win Rookie of the Year. Now, if that is truly hard to or impossible to control according to their printing calendar, then there's got to be some other leeway integrated into the system where like you let it doesn't have to be cumulative, or like like it has to be a little more flexibility. Otherwise, it doesn't really have the value or the or drive or provide the incentive that you think it'll provide to people to purchase it. Other than that, so the value also is the non-value, in my opinion, is also a function of the price. Because like back in the day when I was pulling these Julio's first Bowman Chrome emojis and all that, these boxes were $20, Ron. They weren't 50.
They were.
So like I could buy 5 of these boxes and hit on 2 Julios easily, right? I'll probably get some Wander Francos in there too, but that's neither here or there. So, but now you would have to, in order to be able to pull like realistically a good hitting prospect, you probably have to buy 5 or 6 boxes, and that's $300. And that's not even guaranteed that you get it. You may get other players. And another thing that, in my opinion, detracts from value is that, remember, all these autos that are randomly inserted into these mojos, they're not firsts. They're not there. Even if your player has their first Bowman Chrome card auto in this product, his mojo execution does not. His mojo card auto does not have the Bowman first, and that detracts a lot of the value from that auto. Unless it's a super player, like one of those, what do you call it? The Cardinals prospect, I forget his name, Weatherbolt or whatever, Thunderbolt, something like that. Unless it's someone like that, or that Charlie Condon thing.
There's a couple that are
auto
big.
of those players, it's not going to hold much value. So my opinion on it, it's do not buy singles, buy a few and grade. That's how I would go about it. You touched on Topps Sterling. Let me give you my brutal honesty opinion when it comes to Topps Sterling. man, another mid to maybe premium product that Tufts just wants to, have you spend money on it. I don't even know that they're all hard signed. I don't even know that they're all on car autos. There may be
Uh,
some stickers.
I I would imagine there might be some stickers because of the multiple auto scenarios.
Right.
That's
So
typically where you see it. But
that already
you,
knocks 50% of the value of the auto, if you ask me.
looking back at last year's stuff, I was browsing through eBay, looking at some of the cards, just to kind of get a gauge for what's there. And there is a lot of on card sign stuff, but there was nothing that would bring it up to the cost. I mean, these are going to be expensive. They're always expensive. So,
Yeah. So
it'll
that's
be
when it comes to that. And then the other, so a few other sort of, do you have anything more? I can speak to a few other.
one other thing we
Yeah.
chatted about in some other forums is the fact that we're seeing now we're inching towards the end of getting rookie cards released for people. Marcelo Mayer came up the other day and
Point.
had his debut, and the next day he had his first hit. Card came out. We were debating what Topps was going to do, and he
Yep.
got his rookie card. Robert Hassel III, who was one of my Padre guys who got traded for that Juan Soto deal.
He's playing, right? He's playing.
He smacked a home run yesterday,
Yeah.
so he's
For
out there.
the,
And he
is
got
it
his
for the
rookie card.
Nationals? He's
Yeah,
playing for
he
the
got a
Nats.
rookie card
Okay.
overnight as well. So that was good to see. So we're getting close to that date. That date is something that is negotiated with the MLBPA, the Players Association, from what I understand. Don't know all the rules for it. I think
Well,
we're coming close
essentially, a
to
good
the
way to keep track of this is very very simple.
yeah,
If your player and it's a good way of doing it now because Topps is so in on it and so
yeah,
wanting to milk every dollar out of your pocket is that if the player has a now card or Topps now card, first hit, first game, whatever, first 044, they print a
yep,
card. Um, if on that card he has a rookie logo, then he will be an update.
yep.
Eh,
There were
that's
there were
that's
three of them today.
Yeah,
So
that's
you
the
had
rule of thumb.
yeah,
That's the rule of thumb. So so I will use that if you don't mind, Ron, as a segue to the brief comments I was gonna make on series two, and on update. So series two, it's a little bit of a joke because as we all know, like it's a joke of a product,
yep,
and I think even Topps realizes it. If you go to Topps Now website right now, not only will it not be featured on the main page or the rolling block of images and products they want you to see, it's not even on that. It's buried somewhere, and you have to actually search Series 2 for you to find where the shop now or buy it button. It's that bad. They're
yep,
hiding it from people. It's not even featured on their main website or the rolling whatever you call it of images, rolling links or whatever. It's not even there. It's hilarious as well, Ron. You would probably get a kick out of this. That they have it as sold out. They have Jumbo sold out, Hobbies sold out. That's such a load of crap. None of that is sold out. None of it. None of it. You can find it everywhere. Even Blaster, you can find that everywhere. So do not believe that hype. That's just funny to me. I'll if I find I haven't seen hangers at all, by the way. Now this product is supposed to go live like in like brick and mortar like this week, is it?
I believe it is.
Probably.
It's next week, I believe.
Oh, sorry. So what I was saying about sold out, it's the pre-order.
Yeah,
That's always bullshit because they can control how much of it they pre-sell. But it's do not do not for a second believe that product is sold out. There's gazillion of it out there for you in LCSs and retail. If you want that crappy product, you can find it. I do want a black border of James Wood, and that's in it, but that's only hobby. So I'm gonna keep an eye out on possible way discounted boxes. Ron, I know Ron and I are probably gonna hit that Black Friday maybe for some deals on some of those hobbies that have double the chances of black borders. That
yeah,
would be a cool card to pull. Then segue to update. So all these things we just talked about, the prospects that have been called up, how sucky Series 2 is, it leads me to believe that Update is going to be awesome. Update is going to have a lot of really, really, really solid prospects in there. Now, not a huge, I don't think it's anywhere close to 2020, to 2018 or 2022, or 2024, but a decent class. One last thing. I got to go in probably like 5 minutes. So, one last thing I want to comment, and then I'll leave it up to Ron, is there's word out there, not confirmed, but have it on good word, that Topps is gonna tweak the formats for Topps Chrome, and they're gonna go the way of Topps Chrome Update, where they're gonna do away with blasters. Apparently, Topps Chrome retail is moving to mega boxes, super boxes, whatever you want to call it, where they pretty much sell you a blaster for the price of a mega box. And what they do is, because it's true, like the number of packs and how many cards per pack is what blasters used to be. I believe it's 7 or 8 packs, 4 cards per. But what happens is, and honestly, we can debate whether this is a good thing or not. I think it's a good thing. I don't love the price, but I think it's a good thing. If you recall, when Topps moved into this sort of like mega format for Chrome Update last year, I don't remember if you opened some of those, Ron. I think you did. I know you have some somewhere. Hopefully you
do. One of those is a box, is a field case.
Those boxes are loaded, because what they did is, like, because they have less cards, they put a lot of, like, because remember those boxes have sepias and pings and refractors and what do you call it, the X-fractors, and the pull rate on those was fairly high. So it was one of those SAQs, SKUs that have a lot of parallel per box. If of the 28 cards you have, I think about 20 or 22 are actually X-fractors or pings or sepia or whatever, right? They're not regular base cards, so that's really good. You get a bunch of X-fractors, so it's good. It's just, I'm not sure if it's $50 good, right? But anyways, I'm hearing that that's what they're doing. They're not going to be selling $25 or $50 or $30 blasters. We'll see.
It'll be interesting to see. The 2024 class was good. That's why I've left that case sealed. That I have.
Wait, you have a case of megas?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, of Chrome Update boxes?
Update Chrome megas.
Really? From 2024?
Right there, 2024.
How much? How many per case? Like 20?
20.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good. I mean, the PCB might be interested.
It's staying sealed for a while. I'm leaving that one.
Well, the thing with those is the rookie debut patches are allegedly in play, but
yeah,
we'll see. As many get pulled. I don't know if.
But the value of that rookie class has been so solid.
Strong. That's a good hold for sure.
So it was a good hold.
I think those boxes go for $100, right? Close to it.
The boxes themselves are going for $100 now, easily. Yeah. So I've been seeing them a little bit higher, a little bit lower, but we'll see where that goes. Prospector has to get out. He's on a time crunch. So
thanks for watching, folks. I'll try to move it on social media a bit later. But yeah, we try to give you as much new product, current and upcoming, as we can. Whatever we did not touch on, we'll touch on it next week.
Get out, touch some grass, go see a game, visit some friends at ballparks. It's the best thing for you to do.
Absolutely. For Jorge Prospector, for Prospector Ron, this is Jorge Prospector. Thanks for watching, folks. Catch you in the next one.
Thank you.